Alright guys, Kremp again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. OpTic have finally revealed the communications from their incredible World Championship victory in Dallas just a few days ago, and it's very interesting to have a look at these communications and see exactly who is the most important player in the comms for this OpTic team. There's been lots of talk about the energy in the lineup, exactly who's leading the comms in certain situations, but certainly from the Preds perspective, getting the best out of Shotzzy and some of these other guys. This guy's borderline psychopathic in some of the stuff that he was saying, and it seemed to be good enough for OpTic to get over the line. Very much interested to your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always, I would greatly appreciate it. Couple of interesting things to go through first of all. The Houston Outlaws, which of course was the brands, the Overwatch brands that they had with OpTic. Basically, well, has come to an end, the closure of Outlaws Entertainment, whatever. You guys probably remember recently that the Chicago Huntsmen that were also part of that kind of whole OpTic related branding situation. They kind of made a bit of a comeback lately because they did the OpTic kind of Chicago Huntsman collaboration merchandise reveal that they did back at the World Championship. So therefore, people have been wondering, what about potentially bringing the Outlaws brand back in some degree, and, Raucus and Hexa kind of talk around too in the reply. So interesting to see if that kind of goes anywhere because, obviously ideally for everyone OpTic, it's just OpTic, but over the last few years with Infinite Esports and all the craziness that's happened, there's been Huntsmen, there's been Outlaws, and there's been all these kind of brands related to OpTic, so we'll see what they decide to do. Just quickly here from Cloud9, because Laura Social over there is with Cloud9 now, and she's got the Subliners ring on, so I'm still a bit confused what's going on, because for the World Cup, yes, it's going to be Cloud9, but next season, is it going to be Cloud9? Is it going to be Cloud9 New York? Is it going to be New York Cloud9? We're not exactly sure. But I think we'll get answers on this over time and in due course. This another one. T2P say OpTic, and here's a picture of the boys. Obviously Formal on the left and Scump on the right, doing what seems to be some sort of content piece. Now, either this is like a content piece they're doing, or this is some sort of like announcement. That's been kind of the speculation on this, because the way Formal sat here looks like there might be something getting announced, but probably not. I imagine it's just like a content thing, but nonetheless, cool to see Formal getting back involved in stuff. And what would there be to announce for Formal in the near future? Tough to say, because OpTic Halo, they are obviously gearing up for the Halo World Championship. That's the plan in a couple of months' time. They just played the recent Atlanta event. They've got the Salt Lake events coming up soon. So, look, maybe Formal's preparing some sort of announcement on him stepping away from Halo, because, literally said it on stream over the last couple of months that this season of Halo is likely to be his last, which, to be honest, when Formal initially made his return to Halo after retiring from COD at the end of Cold War, Halo Infinite comes out, Formal decides to give it a go. I think we could have safely predicted that probably Formal running 3 years of Halo made a lot of sense. Of course, he won the World Championship in 2022 in Halo, nearly won it again last year. Whatever happens this year, the game is, more dead than it's been for a long time, and the next Halo, who knows when that's coming out, probably makes sense for Formal to step away. But of course, with Formal kind of teasing, oh, well, Black Ops 6 is coming up, maybe a return is on the cards, difficult to imagine that happens now for OpTic Texas because of the fact that they literally just won the World Championship. So whatever this is, I'm sure it's going to be interesting. Stay tuned, absolutely. Pretty cool as well, I thought, to see Kenny and some of the other guys getting involved in playing Valorant. We know that Dashy, we know that the likes of, Skyz and HyDra, they like playing Val. And it's always funny to see, because I've not played much Valorant in a long time. Like, Counter-Strike was the game that I would play way more than Call of Duty really over the last few years, but I don't really play much of anything, to be honest, anymore. But when I was first picking up to play mouse and keyboard back in like 2018, I was trash, and like I know a lot of the players are as well. Some of the guys are just so unbelievably naturally talented at like any game they pick up that they can just do anything. Like Dashy is an example, HyDra is an example, absolutely. Doesn't matter, like, keyboard and mouse controller, they're still fine. But many of the players, I know that Methods, I think, has talked about this, he's not very good at mouse and keyboards, and it takes a long time to get good with it, and therefore he's like, oh, I don't even want to play because, I'm just going to get embarrassed type thing. But and maybe Kenny's in the same boat, where especially the second one was pretty funny because he's like, oh, I got a freebie, and then he gets cooked, obviously. So pretty funny moments, to be fair, from Ken. But look, he's going to get better. These guys who are good at cards, they are like gifted at other games as well. They just got to pick up the mechanics, and it's obviously going to take a bit of time. So as Kenny says, get me a spot on the squad, Dashy. That would be the most vicious slide cuts I've ever seen about what the guy did with the neon. obviously, because, you know, this game is pretty mental if you guys haven't seen it before. Couple of quick reactions as well further to the group. Thought this is funny here from Blake. If you guys didn't see yesterday, these are the Esports World Cup groups that are going on. OpTic are in the Vegas, Ravens, Omet, Brooklyn group, which is pretty interesting because Ravens, when they first started screwing with this new roster with Beans, they looked pretty damn untouchable against most teams they played. The last couple of days, not been so good. We'll discuss that later on today. And Vegas, with Fame instead of Johnny, I'm not sure they're going to be so good there either. So should be a pretty easy run for OpTic in their pool. And of course, presumably you do want to come through as the #1 seed here, because if you come through as the #1 seed, you get to play the second seed from another group. I'm not exactly sure how the bracket plays out in terms of which groups play who, because, you know, typically you might see A versus D or B versus C or whatever. And, you know, so OpTic in the #1 seed. So typically they will potentially get the weakest first round opponent. So I guess that they might look at down the groups, because this is the 4th and 5th seeds. These are the 3rd and 6th seeds, and these are the 2nd and the 7th seeds in Cloud9 and Surge respectively. So if it was done in that way, it's possible that it will be Group A versus Group B in the first round of the bracket, just because that would put OpTic as the #1 seed against theoretically the weakest second round in the #2 seeding position if OpTic were to win the group. But you can also argue that what's best for the #1 seed is to play either the 4th or 5th seeds, which would be either Group D, basically Group D, right? Either 100T or FaZe. So it would be really, really interesting if it's actually Group A versus Group D and then Group B versus Group C that play each other in the first round of the bracket, because it's possible if 100T or whatever were to upset FaZe in groups, that OpTic versus FaZe could be a first round elimination game at the Esports World Cup. But time will tell on that one. And of course, who knows how these groups are even going to play out in the first place to try and predict some of the stuff like that. And obviously, if you guys didn't see yesterday, some of the discussion on the high integrity and good sportsmanship that I'm sure the players will be displaying out there in Saudi Arabia, such as, you know, these boys, Imperial Hal for the Apex guys that are playing for Falcons over the coming days. Quickly, they did confirm, by the way, gentle mates, what's happening here. So this is a pretty fire video, by the way. It's funny in a way that Gentle Mates were, I imagine, going to confirm this a little while ago, or at least maybe they had to rush it somewhat, just because they got leaked, basically, by the World Cup. Like, the announcement graphic came through, and it was shown that, yeah, Gentle Mates were going to be taking over, effectively, this Bants team that did well, obviously, to qualify even for this. But Gentle Mates stepping up, I thought was cool. The video was actually fire. Denza, Bants, Harry, and Cobra, they're going to be out there in ReeaL in a couple of weeks' time. But let's talk about this comms video, right? Because this was highly entertaining. We've been waiting for this for some time now. Obviously, look, to be fair, it's only a week or a bit after the World Championship. It's not like they delayed it super long, but it's 30 minutes long. There's lots of good stuff in here. Obviously, the players are really looking forward to getting this one out, and OpTic were absolutely fried. Let me just share a few moments of this one, right? Because there were some hilarious moments in here, but especially, I would say, from Pred, right? A few things that he said, a few things that he did, which certainly implied to me that this guy was one of the chief energy sources of the team.
Let's go. They're all smiles and happy now. Just remember what the fuck happens when we sweep them. Just remember, look at them. They're all happy. They think it's won.
We're chilling.
They think they won.
Alright, let's go.
I'm about to fucking throw my hand warmer at his head. Fucking shit stains.
Let's go. Good job, bro.
Fucking shit stains.
Fame is not real.
Fucking, oh my god, I'm gonna fucking throw this bottle at them. That's fucking
Secret. I'm here yet. Go.
We're going to
Let's go, found him. Just come play in the bottom.
I have low. He has to go top. Low.
Oh my god! It's fucking Getty! It's fucking Getty! Back in the cap, I think.
Back in the cap.
Oh, in cafe. He's going back to cafe.
Two of the most clutch players in the league. Here we go. The stun lands. Skyz versus Dashy. Oh my god, Benny! Let's fucking go, Benny! Let's fucking go, Benny!
horrible.
Come on!
Alright, we're gonna make sure like that's so it's because you saying.
Nice. I'll bomb Kismet, bro.
Mom.
I have that push through.
I'm just taking one. Make it play. What's broken? Make it one shot. Make it one shot. Pack him.
Where'd he go?
Close mid cut on your right side. Like DVD pillars.
DVD pillars?
I can shoot him.
DVD and DVD.
I have rebeat him. I rebeat him.
Where's
Where's he?
I haven't.
Let's go! Holy fuck! You are fucking dog shit! Holy shit!
Fucking, I don't even know who it was. Holy fuck! God doesn't run at me, dude. Look at him. Who is this?
Who's he fucking challenging?
Holy fuck.
So I think we saw this really back at Major 3 when it was quite obvious that the energy that Pred was bringing to the table was one of the key factors why they were so successful, right? I think especially this one where Shotzzy was started up talking trash on Skyz. The funny thing is that Shotzzy said, I don't even know who that guy was, I just like smoked, but I just stood up and talked trash anyway. Turned out it was Skyz. Dashy made a bit of a comment on the situation as well. And I think without Pred and kind of the just raw, let's say, energy that he brings to the team, I don't know if you kind of get this version of Shotzzy in some ways. I think we kind of saw that at Major 3 and we saw them replicate it again at the World Championship, right? And, you know, some of the stuff that Pred says is just hilarious. And there's no doubt that those OpTic guys are, you know, whatever you want to say about how good they are actually as players, but they are also mentality monsters in some way. Like, Pred, no doubt about it, knows how to get in the other guy's head, knows the way that his opponents are thinking, and tries to gas up his team to that effect. And that's just, you know, top quality play. So great content as always. Just to close out the video, I thought we'd go through another couple of players here from Ronnie's top 25 COD players of all time. Now, if you look at the replies, like, obviously he's getting cooked, right? Because in the replies, everyone's going to say, oh, no, that's wrong. This guy should be here. This guy should be there. But to be fair, you know, I wanted to give some credit to Ronnie because this is not easy to do. I think he had a touch just before this and some other players we saw over the last couple of days. But 21st place. So this is, you know, all-time COD player list. It's incredibly challenging to do this over so many different eras, different events, but look, why not give it a go? Big Timer absolutely deserves a spot there or thereabouts. I thought it was actually really cool to see him at least get respected on this list. 25 events he played, average passing of 3.5, 9 tournament wins, was, you know, for some time actually a Guinness World Record holder, I think, for the most prize money earned. I think he's definitely still in the Guinness Book of World Records for being the most, like, successful Call of Duty player for that early period. And look, if he was in a slightly different era and was, because he retired in basically COD Ghosts, right? So that's how long ago we're talking. If he was around in a slightly different era, he could have well had some World Championship rings to his name. And, you know, as Brian Stat says, the winningest player from 2008 to 2014, finals victories against the likes of Cap, Proofy, Kremp, Eggs, TP. If champs were around since 2008, he probably would have won a fair few. But absolutely a legend of the scene, the original GOAT, I think many people describe Big Timer as, and of course, still one of the best content creators to ever do it in the space. 20th goes to Priestahh. So, you know, you go all of a sudden from like a real OG player to a player who, like, Priestah's been around a fair while at this point, but his most notable accomplishments really are winning the most championships in the CDL era. I think maybe he's at least tied for that now with Kenny. I think maybe on LAN it's now Kenny that's won the most, but, you know, regardless, again, 9 tournament wins. 20th is what Roddy's going to give him in terms of overall career, which is probably about right as well. I mean, he's a world champion. Obviously incredibly challenging to rank between how much basically results matter and how much skill matters on some level, because Dashy was 25th on this list. Priesthah's here at 20th. You know, Parasite was 24th. Priestah's obviously won more than Dashy. Dashy's the stronger individual player, so, you know, but he's won over multiple teams. Whatever. It's difficult to say. And then HyDra gets 19th, and I think it was very interesting just to see how much reaction there was to this one, because some people were saying, wow, HyDra's way too low, as in this guy's been, like, insanely cooking, one of the most talented players ever, he deserves to be higher. But I think this is probably justifiable in terms of number of tournament wins, and, you know, just the fact that he's still relatively young in his career, and, you know, he's going to go probably rocket up this list, I imagine, over the coming seasons. But very much enjoyed to your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.